Hey guys, so we're getting ready to do our Valentine's Day sugar cookies and we're going to decorate those today. So I thought y'all might like a refresher on how I make the icing that goes on top of the cookies. So to start with, we use confectionery sugar and we use meringue powder. Meringue powder you can find in the Wilton food section at the grocery store. You can also find it at Hobby Lobby too. So what I do is, and this is really easy to remember, is I do 1 cup of confectionery sugar to 1 tablespoon of meringue powder. That's the ratio of the dry ingredients that I use. So to start with, we're just gonna put a bunch of confectionery sugar in here. So I'm just gonna make a whole bunch at once and then we'll divide it up and I'll make colors out of it. So that's 6 cups of sugar. So I'm gonna put in 6 tablespoons of meringue powder. And then we're just gonna add water to get it to the consistency that we want. This is something new that I tried last time. You can put in a little bit of corn syrup in there, and it helps give it a little bit more of a shine when you're all done, after it dries. And you don't need a whole lot. I just put a little bit in, probably maybe a tablespoon or 2. It's really up to you. And if you don't want to put it in there, you don't have to. It's not gonna do anything to it. It does make it a little bit sweeter. And some people don't like corn syrup, so if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Okay, so the consistency that you want is you want the frosting, so when you put it on there, it goes back into itself. It becomes one. There's a couple stages, and some people that do lots of cookies do them in 2 different ways. They do a flooding and they do a border, or a detailed one. The detailed one and the border one is a little bit thicker, and the flooding one is a little bit thinner. I just do it all the same. I still do my little border and I still flood it with this frosting, but I just set them aside and let them dry a little bit, so I don't have to do 2 bags of every single color in the consistency. I don't do that many cookies, and they're not that professional detailed as some of the ones that you might watch on some of the other YouTube channels. But the other thing that I have found when making this, because of the meringue, is when you're whipping it, some recipes tell you to whip it with a mixer, but I think if you incorporate too much air into it, it whips up that meringue into like an egg white and makes it fluffy. And then it makes it harder to use. When you try to flood your cookies or put it on there, it comes out really hard. So the best consistency that I can tell you that I like is that it's just enough where it comes off the spoon, and when it goes back into the bowl, it all goes back into itself right away. And it's not too wet where it's gonna run off the cookie. But like I said, we still do the little border part anyway. So that's how I do the frosting. So the next step is, since we're doing Valentine's Day cookies, I'm gonna do pink, red, and white. So I'm gonna take some of this and I'm going to make it into white, just for white. But before I do that, also, I like to seal up the bags because I just put them on the counter when I'm using them, and I don't have to worry about them oozing out all over the place. Some people use rubber bands. I use tape. I think that works the best. So that's what I'm gonna do on this. If you use rubber bands, you just have to make sure that you do them nice and tight. Otherwise, this is gonna seep out the side. Okay, and after I get that all done there, put my tape on there, fold it all down, and there we go. It's all ready to go. So for the next one, we're gonna do some color. I think I'm gonna do some pink. Here's another thing too with the food colors. I use the gel food colors and not the liquid food colors. You can use the liquid ones if you want to use that, but remember it's going to change the consistency of your frosting because you're adding more liquid into it, so it'll make it runnier again. So you have to keep that in mind if you're making it. You could put the liquid in there, but then you might have to add a little bit more confectionery sugar to get it back to the consistency that you want. These older gels used to come like this in these little containers, but the newer ones have been coming like, there's my cap thing, have been coming in these little bottles, and these little bottles are much nicer because you can put them in there without having to use a knife or anything. And with the gel ones, it doesn't take very much to get the color that you want. Okay, there's our pink. I think I might have to make a little bit more frosting. I don't think I have enough to do one more color. Remember, 1 cup of confectionery sugar, 1 tablespoon of meringue powder. Don't use a cup of meringue powder. See, this is a perfect example. I put a little bit too much water in it. So you can just put a little bit more sugar into it just to get it back to the consistency that you need. And I'm not going to add any more meringue powder. I think there's enough in there to do what we need to do. Now we're just going to put in some red. Red's kind of funny, and you have to use a lot of it, which is kind of I don't know. I'm not sure I like using that much red. It kind of stings your mouth if you're not careful. Okay, I think we have all the colors we need to do this project. We have our red, white, and pink. So we're all set. I'm gonna get the cookies out, get those all set up, and then I'll bring you back and you can watch us decorate them. Hi guys, we're back. So we have our cookies all set. We've got all our sprinkles out because we love sprinkles, you know that. The cookies are really easy right now. All we're doing is some hearts. We've got a couple different kind of hearts. This one's got a little bit of ripples around it. It's a little bigger. And then of course we have some kissy lips. Look at that. Anyway, so we're gonna do all these. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'll bring the camera a little closer so you can watch us all. Mr. Brandon's here to help us because he loves to do sugar cookies. Now, I don't think that he liked them when he first learned how to do them, but that's a whole nother story. We'll save that one. But we're gonna get started on these. We have our frosting. We all did that together just now. And again, our sprinkles. So we're gonna get started. Hey guys, so here's our cookies for this year. These are our Valentine cookies that we did. We didn't do a whole bunch this year. You know, you don't want to spread the love too thick. Just enough to that they know that you love them a little bit. But anyway, these are the ones we did. Came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them all. That one. Anyway, hope you're all having a great day. Hope you all have a great Valentine's. Talk to you the next project. Bye.